Hello and welcome back to the worst reselling podcast ever. Hello, Grumpy Granny. How are you?
I'm well and I'm back. Yay!
Oh, well, that's sad to say. It's I raided the nursing home and unfortunately I found where you were hiding out. So
Exactly.
and,
Yes.
yeah.
I've finally come out of the hospital wing and back into the normal world of the living, which is great.
Well, that's good. Well, yeah, good for some. Not so much for me because obviously my world domination plans have been hindered. However, have to watch where my tentacle goes there. I just almost beating
I've
myself in
heard.
the head.
Apparently, Graham was quite happy to see me back because he thinks that you need to be kept in check.
No, is he? Oh, well,
Yes.
hello to Graham out there. But yeah, like if I'm going to be brutally honest, Grumpy Granny, a few people have reached out to me and asked me how you were, and I said that I don't know if she's coming back, and I think they took me that you were dead.
Oh dear. Well,
yeah, so no, it's good to see you back.
Sent me some donations for my funeral costs, shouldn't they?
Well, that's right. Well, I did raise a GoFundMe page. Those funds didn't get through to you.
No, for some reason, no.
No, but I suppose that before we get into today's episode, we're going to do a little bit of an overview of what we've been up to and what we're planning to do with the podcast going forward. So what I'll do is I'll start up because we're actually reducing it to 30 minutes, like a bite-sized podcast, because a lot of our people told us that they love watching, but an hour's too much of a commitment. So we're going to do, and obviously, Grumpy Granny and I, we're quite preoccupied with what we're doing ourselves. So the 30-minute format's probably a lot more comfortable in that perspective. So
that being said, we never ever stick to the time. So, I'm going to say it'll be 35 minutes, maybe 40 minutes.
I'm going to turn it off at mid-sentence at 30 minutes.
Okay. We'll see.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah.
So the next point of order is they're actually moving the podcast to its very own new channel. So it's going to be called the worst podcast ever. Well, the worst reselling podcast ever.
Worst reselling podcast.
This plan. Yeah, give me 2 seconds. When we go, we'll show a little ticker. So there it is. There. It's in the description.
So it's not the worst reselling podcast. It's worst reselling podcast.
That's right. That's exactly right. So we're gonna capitalize on everything. So the reason for that is for two reasons. As it currently stands, at all the YouTube revenue, all $3 that we normally generate per month on the podcast comes to me, which is not, it's not fair on Grumpy Granny, right? Because she needs some more sleep. Look at that face,
Yes.
So what we're going to do is basically with the new format, we're going to use it when eventually, 6 years down the track, when it does become monetized, because channels aren't automatically monetized, right? So we need to get the 4,000 watch hours, 1,000 subscribers again. And who are we? Who are we guessing? We're going to cheat again. You'll turn around next week and we'll have 6,000 subscribers. Look at us go. So I suppose from that perspective is that the revenue will be used to pay for, obviously, my StreamYard, Granny's StreamYard, and all the ancillary costs that happens with YouTube. Then anything left over, obviously, after the expenses, will go 50-50. And I'll probably, for the first 12 months, I'll probably donate my $1.87 a month to Granny for her hearing aid fund, which I still think is going on from my memory, my recollection.
Yes, slowly but surely.
Yeah, so that's pretty much where it stands. Like I said, that YouTube's not going to make you phenomenal amounts of money. It's more of a fair share between Granny and I, and Blake if he ever wants to come back. He looks a little bit decapitated on the little picture down the bottom. But
yes, he does, and that's the trouble because that was designed for having three of us on the screen. So I am going to have a bit of a play around with that and create a new one for when there's only the two of us on the screen. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so no, that should be good. But Blake's good. I speak to him probably 3 or 4 times a week. Check in with him. He's very busy with all the things he's got going on.
Oh, yes,
last I heard, Depop deactivated and reactivated and deactivated his account. So off my account, he's lost it for the 6th time over that initial issue.
I thought he'd got it back, but now it's gone again. Wow.
No, it's basically cycled around 4 or 5 times where they've given it back and taken it away. So
what in the world?
Yeah, so like I said before, is please, if you haven't already, subscribe to Blake's channel, watch a couple of his videos to help him out in that regard. He is phenomenal. We love Blake. I don't know about Granny.
He is.
but we love Blake. That's enough about Blake. We can go back to bad mouthing him now. So the podcast will be rolling across to the new channel. This episode will be on my Disgruntled Octopus channel. The subsequent ones will be rolled out across to the new channel, and I will put on Instagram and social media and all those different things. And Granny will do the same for future episodes. Where to find it until everyone stabilizes. Grumpy Granny and I will, I suppose we will upload the raw data to our channel members on our own respective channels before. So what will happen is they actually won't go live on our channels to the general public. However, our respective channel members will get access 2 or 3 days before it actually goes live on the other channels. So
yes,
just another reason to throw waste your dollars. And on a side note, though, I've actually put some affiliate links down the bottom in the description field below for Amazon for the products that I use. So I'm not cutting Grumpy Granny's grass because she has done a variation listing video like the last couple of days ago, I think it was. So I will show her to sign up for the affiliate links for the products that she suggested in that as well. So like I said, if you're up that way, you click on those and we get a little bit of cash back. But yeah, Granny, so I suppose for those that haven't met you before and on the new channel, because who are you?
Oh, well, I'm Grumpy Granny and I'm an old lady and I live in a nursing home in central Victoria.
Looks like it's been repurposed as a schoolroom as well, by the looks of it.
Well, I've got a thing up there for when I'm teaching the boys and girls how to do things on eBay, which is primarily what I do on my channel. I do lots of tutorials and stuff, but, I'm always happy to do other stuff. I do a little bit of Depop because I also sell on there, and I've just started not long before I got sick and stopped doing it, but I'm selling on Etsy as well, which is mainly a bookstore. And that's pretty much what I do. I sell jeans and books and other things.
So for those that from outside of Australia, from where Grumpy Granny comes from and where I'm planning on taking over, we don't have access to a lot of I suppose websites here to resell on. We've got eBay is our primary one. We don't really have Amazon. I know a lot of people do sell on Amazon, but we don't have that second.
Not for the second-hand market, no.
Yeah, and it's quite in its infancy, I believe, at the moment. So I don't count that as a part of the equation.
Yeah, no.
We have Etsy, which is probably less used than anything, probably comparable to what's the one over the seas that over in America that Commonwealth Pickle uses. Well, Bonanza. Yeah, so it's probably our it's probably our Bonanza. So that's how many sales trickle through on that platform. And we've got Depop, which is obviously Blake's worst enemy at the moment. So I think I might have actually attributed to him being banned again for the video that I did a call to action to try and get him reinstated.
Oh dear.
That's probably one look at that and off they go. But for those that stumbled across this channel, I do apologise in advance. I'm the Disgruntled Octopus. You're probably your future benevolent leader. So basically, I resell on eBay. Been reselling on eBay fairly often since 2007. A lot more full on in 2014. Went full time in 2001, and then 2002, and subsequently went back to work recently. So I've had the the very wide range of reselling experiences. And I suppose my channel, I tend to be a little bit controversial. Like I suppose that I don't go with the status quo. I don't probably suck up to people unnecessarily, I suppose is the best way to put it. And that's probably why part of the reason we created the podcast channel for us, because then if I say anything on the podcast or on my channel, it's not affecting the other channels.
Well, yes, that's right, because we have been known before to be critical of other people and what they do and things, but it's always constructive criticism, I do have to say. Always constructive criticism.
Yeah, and I think I don't want to harbour too much on this because obviously I don't want the people to get their pitchforks and torches any more than they need to. But I think, me personally, I don't like people being taken advantage of, right? Yep. I think that's the best way of putting it. I've got to be very careful the way I word things because I don't want to be cancelled. Everyone's been cancelled in 2024. So basically, I suppose that just make sure that any product that's being sold to you or being talked about, regardless of what it is, and you probably work out what I'm reading between the lines if you are in the reselling space. Just make sure it's fit for purpose. That's all I ask. I have nothing against the person that runs it or the people that run it or anyone in the group, regardless of what other people think otherwise. It just wants to make sure that, it's fit for purpose, right? So to me, if you are starting reselling, you get excited because you watch Grumpy Granny and she's selling a product and you want to jump on it because you like Grumpy Granny. That's well and good, but make sure it's right for you. And I know, make sure that, look at the refund policy, make sure that, all these different things. Like I said, just make sure it's a business expense that's worth shelling out.
And I mean, you can pay Grumpy Granny the $1.29 a month, I think it is, for her channel membership, which is great. And you get all that fantastic content, which you would get even if you don't pay that $1.29 for the month. But, I mean, that does help me with that. But, if you're paying a membership to get extra things of $35 or something like that a month, you really have to stop and think at what level of reselling you are. If you're just starting out, is that an expense that you really should be doing? Or is that $35 that you could be putting back into your business so that you can get some more stock and go and make some more money?
Yeah, and don't get us wrong. Obviously we're talking about a certain group, but we both have been a part of that group before. Personally, I thought it was really good for the capacity that I was using it for. Not necessarily probably the intended reason for the group, because they did have like a social media perspective, I suppose from where they did talk about social media, which I was looking to get in from that perspective because I knew reselling well enough, excuse me, to work out what I wanted to do. But the social media, well, I'm still pretty dodgy on it. But yeah, like I said, that it's definitely fit for purpose. I'm not saying it's a sham product. It's really good. However, it's not suited for everyone, and I'll leave it at that. Like I said, but just do your own diligence, do your own research. Just want to make sure that obviously that. And I do think...
And there's nothing wrong with going in and testing something out and being a member of a group or something for a short period and getting what you need out of it and then getting out. Yeah,
that's right. But and I suppose further to that, to not pick on one individual, I've recently signed up to Flipwise by Justin Resells. He's a co-founder on that. I know I signed up to it yesterday. My initial thoughts, I'm actually quite impressed. It's quite aesthetically pleasing from my perspective, but what I will do is I'll probably run it for a month or two just to see how it goes. Then I'll probably give more of an in-depth review. I won't recommend it. I won't recommend or not recommend it at this point. Obviously, I don't.
You might need to use it a little bit before you either recommend or don't recommend.
Well, that's exactly right. But from initial impressions, I'm quite impressed by just the virtue. Because, like I was saying to Grumpy Granny before we went live, is that Excel spreadsheets don't do it for me, right? So I'm more of a visual person. The more aesthetically pleasing a thing is, the more likely I'm to use it. And from what I'm seeing, I'm quite happy to use this product. And like I said, I will give you an in-depth review after about 30 to 60 days to give you an idea of what's going on. So please don't run out and buy it on my very dodgy recommendation. So.
And I think you have to look at your store size, how much, because it costs you. I mean, I had a look at the setup of it yesterday as well and watched their demo, and it looks like it's got great functions and the presentation of it's great. And the only thing that, from my perspective, because really, I'm actually a relatively new reseller. I've only been doing it for a couple of years. And I just thought for me at this stage, the cost was going to outweigh where I'm at because my store is so big, because it's 2,200-ish around there items. My store is so big, but sales aren't great because I've been off, being sick and stuff. So I've got to get it back up to where it was. But yeah,
and I think sales have been pretty flat against the board everywhere. And I think I said to Granny the other day that last week I did about $4,000 in sales. This week I'm dropped down to $900 in the space of 3 or 4 days. So sales to me, normally I've been doing. I'm not gonna, not to boast, and please don't take this as boasting because I'm not disclosing my profit margin. So and I will, with Flipwise, I plan on using that product to do, I suppose, what sold videos. Very similar to what Justin Resells does. I actually quite enjoy his channel. He did reach out to me personally on my Octopus account, which is quite nice. But like I said, I actually thought it was spam email until I actually read it. He actually referred to me as something that not many people would, so that's why I thought it might have been more of a personalized emails per se. But yeah, like I said, that I will disclose that data because it's quite transparent, right? So this program is external to me. It's not a spreadsheet that I've made or create and can manipulate. This is a program that, from my perspective, is that it can give you relatively data, and that's part of the reason why I haven't disclosed figures so far, is because like it really, not that I would be dodgy, even though I look it. But yeah, like realistically, I can't manipulate this program, right? The sales have been abysmal from my perspective, and like I said, for about
I think that's across the board from what I'm hearing. Yeah, I mean, I had no sales yesterday at all, which terrible.
I've had up to about this year, I've never had a no sales day since I've been selling, quite consistent since 2014. In the last week, I've had 2 no sale day in a row. So that gives you an idea. But like I was saying, is I used to sell, well, statistically, about that $350 to $500 a day. Like I said, I'm not going to disclose the profit margins until I do the Flipwise stuff. But yesterday was like $67 or something along that after expenses. And I haven't done the posting yet, so I've got about $50 profit.
Yeah, just terrible. Like I had a really good day Thursday. Like that was close to $300. But then, the day before was a donut day, as we call them, when you don't get any sales. And then low sales the next couple of days. And then Saturday, I got another donut day. Not sure whether I'll be able to do a What Sold video this week at the rate I'm going. It'll be a short.
I mean, 15 seconds short. So I suppose that from like leading it, turning things full circle now that I'm on my ADHD medication and I can think a lot clearer. And I'll get into that in a second. But I suppose from that perspective, if you are only doing minimal sales a week, just hypothetically, I said $900. Let's go off a 30% profit margin, just say $300 for that. With Flipwise, I'm currently paying $62 Australian because I'm in that 1,000 to 2,000, I think, bracket. But realistically, and like I was saying, is the other group we were talking about as well, is that you really need to work out how much return on investment, right? Look at it from that perspective. I'll leave it at that. However, just make sure that the product's right for you. So and I've lost my train of thought.
And I do I do think that the advantage of Flipwise is if you're someone that doesn't do your figures and you're not into doing spreadsheets and you're really slack, and then every time it gets to tax year, every time you're having to spend days and days and days in a row putting all your figures in because you haven't done it all year and that sort of thing. I think Flipwise would be ideal and probably well worth it. Sort of thing.
And like I said, initial impressions, and like I said, I watched Justin Resells. I've never commented on his channel, which is quite surprising that he even knows I exist, to tell you the truth. But yeah, like I said, that this is not an endorsement or anything else. Otherwise, just like initial impressions. And like I said, that could change over the next 30 days. But it does support Canada, US, Australia, and the UK, I believe. So definitely, my biggest thing was that it didn't support Australia. There's no mobile app in Australia at the moment. There's on the App Store, so we'll talk to Justin about that at some point to see if that will be rolling out. Because I do think that, like we said in the review we did of a certain group, about a couple of months ago, that always got us cancelled. Realistically, that to me, that's probably taking away from the value of the product, right? So if the other audiences have that mobile app, and we don't, or if it's being launched, that's the bugbear, I suppose, at this stage. Well, and to me, I probably wouldn't use it.
Yeah, and it's always been a bit of a bugbear of ours, hasn't it, too? The fact that quite often when either products or groups or whatever come out and they are marketing to an Australian audience, what we get is less than what everyone else gets. Because of the, regardless of whether it's time or there's something missing, and then we are paying so much more for the actual thing, and that's what they don't realise is that the product might be $49.99 for whatever bracket in Australia. That converts to I think because mine's over 2,000 items in the store. I think mine worked out that I would be paying $74.98 a month. It would work out at the moment.
And it's the same as everything we come across, right? So it's not isolated to a certain group or a certain application. Cross list magic was the same when I was cross listing to Depop. So if you are in the UK, or I think it's in the US as well, I'm not too sure if there's a lot of obviously cross listing apps over there, but we really could only use it for Depop and Facebook Marketplace. So 80% of the the application wasn't relevant to us, but we were still paying that full rate. So like I said, I will reach out to Justin at some point over the next 30 days just to see what the roadmap is for an app for us. And to be brutally honest, I probably wouldn't use it, or I probably would if I was at the thrift store, because like I said, being having a scatterbrain is that it would give me an opportunity to do it right there and then, right? So so I wouldn't forget about it and have like a pile of receipts next to me that I haven't processed.
and look, I think, because I did watch, as I said, I watched the demo and everything, and he did mention in the demo that they are looking at having a cross-listing tool as part of it. And I think if they can get the app, the mobile app, and the cross-listing tool in it, they'll have one hell of a product, I think.
Yeah, and like I said, this is not even though it's turned into a 6-minute ad for Flipwise. But like I said, that I will do some research in respect to that, because I was turned onto it by I think I originally watched Phoenix Sales. I did fall onto his channel, which led me into Justin's channel. Then Hilly, which is one of the guys in Leanne's Discord group.
My Discord group, yesterday. Come join.
Yeah, because I from my understanding, it wasn't available to Australia, or I didn't think it was available to Australia. Then Hilly was using it, so I thought, I've been meaning to give it a crack. So that's the reason I stumbled into it. So but like I said, I'll let you know in the next couple of weeks or next month of how it goes. But
and by the way, my Discord's free. By the way.
I know. I monetize that. I monetize that when you're away as well.
Is that why I lost so many members?
Well, that's right.
They didn't want to pay you. Yeah.
No. I've turned into the Geelong Flipper. Just try and peddle everything. Yeah. So, but I suppose everything's been quite good. This is more of just a fluff episode, just to settle back into the routine.
I did want to mention one change that eBay's made that I quite thought was funny, because from the 1st of September 2024, on eBay, you are not allowed to list zombie knives.
Oh, that's right. You did mention this.
Yeah, boys and girls, no zombie knives. So knives that indicate either in the listing or on the knife itself that they are intended for violence against a person or fictional creature like a monster or zombie are not allowed to be sold on eBay.
Well, I can let you all know, I collectively breathe a sigh of relief. No one will be coming after me with a knife.
That's exactly right. So if you've got any zombie knives, get them up and sold before the 1st of September.
And I suppose that another thing that I have seen as well is that American Express, and this has been thrown across the whole internet, so I'm months and months and months behind on this one. But for those that use American Express to pay on eBay, you can use it through PayPal. So basically I have an American Express to pay my postage and all these different things, because I collect points, right? So I use it from that perspective. So I just use it through PayPal because Australia Post doesn't accept it. American Express off the bat, so just go from that perspective. So that's another way around that if you need to go down that path.
Interesting.
So like I said, you can always get around it, and it's in
Very
the application
devious.
now. So, well, that's right. That's exactly right. So, why not? We'll go from that perspective. But I suppose, Granny, your variation listing, you stole my thunder. I was going to do a video about a variation listing, but after watching yours, I've seen it was very lackluster. So,
what do you mean lackluster? What do you mean? You know, that video caused me so much grief because, I use Filmora to do my editing, and there was all this new music in there, and I pay a subscription for the program Filmora. So, I can access all their extra little, blingy things. And so there's all this new music. So I thought, oh, great. There was 2 sections, the intro, and then later on in the video where I'm doing the photos, I wanted to overlay some music. So I chose this really cool sounding music. One of them sounded very much like Kiss Rock and Roll All Night song. That's sort of the vibe it had. And I get it and uploaded it to YouTube, and I got a copyright and strike on it. And and I thought, well, hang on a minute. I don't know that that's right. But anyway, so I had to go and redo the video, not the whole thing, but take the music out and put new music in. So, yeah. But it's still a good video.
It is. I do laugh. So I suppose for those that with my variation listing, my plan wasn't to, but it saved me a lot of work. I don't like teaching people how to do things like, suck eggs, I suppose we say from our perspective, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you the benefits of using a variation listing, and I will feed into Leanne's video to actually how to do a variation listing. How to do it,
yes.
Because being an octopus with 8 tentacles and ADHD now, my attention span is quite limited. However, I can show you what it does and how.
Octo, sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to say you don't have ADHD now. You've always had ADHD. You've just been diagnosed now.
Oh, I don't know.
As someone that's a fellow ADHD sufferer, yes.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
I'm also diagnosed.
Yeah, I might make some jokes about it, and please, by all means, don't take it as I'm picking on anyone or all these different things. But yeah, I want to keep it on the down low because the simple fact is it almost feels to me like it's flavor of the month. I don't know if it's just popped up in the last 6 months or because
all it is that a lot of resellers have ADHD, but a lot of resellers are also, for some reason, I mean, I've been on medication for years for it, but yeah, for some reason, going and getting diagnosed and getting medications become more of a thing. I think maybe people realise they can do better if they take medication.
Well, there could be that. So I personally, I thought I caught it off Judder because I went and visited him a couple of years ago and haven't been the right since.
You caught it off him?
Probably. I won't say I caught anything else off him. So basically, like I said, that's from that perspective. And like I said, I'm not making fun of anyone that has it or discusses it on their channel. It's just, to me, I don't want to be associated with trying to jump on the latest craze per se, from my perspective, right? So,
it's old
I
news
am medicated.
I'm
medicated now, and I suppose, from my perspective, and this is probably the last thing I'll say from this perspective, is that it's made my brain a lot quieter. I don't have the voices in my head telling me to take over the world as quickly now.
Yes.
Before we go, Granny, because we've only got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, I do want to bring attention to 2 podcasts. I'm actually in the process of watching the Profit Play podcast, which is Josh, John, and Beard. I can't remember. I think Scott's name. They're talking about whether they're going to reselling, and I'm probably 25 minutes into the episode, and it's phenomenal. Please go watch it if you are considering going full time. It is exactly the reasons why I went back to work, for the simple fact is, and they've articulated a lot better than I can, so highly recommend it. And I will put it in the description field below and probably in the comment section as well, because I can remember things now, Granny.
That's good. Excellent.
And there's also another podcast, the Business and Banter podcast with Sam and I want to say Hadley. I'm not too sure how to pronounce it. They're both members of Tex Group. They're quite good, actually. I'll quite enjoy it. So like I said, that it is geared towards their experiences in Tex Group, which, like I said, that your mileage may vary depending on what you want to get out of that group. So like I said, that just watching it from that perspective, their information's quite good. Like I said, it's phenomenal. And like I said, I have nothing against people in Tex Group. However, just obviously just do your research before you go down that path. But they are quite enjoyable. They're quite new. I think they're up to episode 4 or 5. So by all means, I will put their link in the description field below. So slither over and check them out. They are phenomenal in their own spaces. And
like I can remember what we were like on episode 4 and 5.
Well, they're a lot better than we were. I think they're better than us now.
Well, look what they've got to look forward to. That this is what they're going to become. Yeah,
that's right. I wonder who's going to dress up as the octopus. But anyway, Granny, what do you got coming out this week before we got 30 seconds left?
I will be doing a What Sold video. I'm also going to be doing a eBay news, not eBay news, a reselling news section. And there might be a surprise coming later in the week.
Oh, 2 surprises. And I have absolutely no idea what's coming through. So stay tuned to what's coming out. I don't know. I have to work it out. But anyway, we'll thank you.
Grumpy Granny Flipper on most places. Yeah.
That's right.
But you're in the Discord because I'm most active in there.